Good evening. Welcome to California Today. I'm Liang Zhang. Here's a preview of some of today's stories. Here's an update on one of the suspects in the Sacramento shooting. Just weeks before the shooting, he was released early from prison. He was sentenced to 10 years in 2018, but only served 4 years. Lawmakers are pushing for a bill in the wake of the Sacramento shooting. The bill will reflect an abortion bill in Texas. And an elderly man was attacked, seemingly at random. Footage from the family's security camera caught the attack. They put it up because it wasn't the first. Authorities are finding out more about the mass shooting in Sacramento, California this past weekend. One of the suspects was released from jail just weeks before the shooting, despite a 10-year sentence. NTD's Allison Lee has the details.
27-year-old Smiley Martin is one of the suspects in the Sacramento shooting that left 6 people dead on Sunday. Authorities arrested him on Tuesday and charged him with possession of a firearm by a prohibited person. A spokeswoman for the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, or CDCR, told the Sacramento Bee that Martin got an early release from prison this February. Martin was sentenced to 10 years in prison in 2018 for domestic violence and assault with great bodily injury. The CDCR says he had already received 508 days of pre-sentencing credits and received a variety of additional post-sentencing credits. The Bee reported that Martin's criminal record dates back to 2013. Last year, the Sacramento County District Attorney's Office pleaded with the parole board not to grant Martin an early release. They wrote in a letter, "Inmate Martin's criminal conduct is violent and lengthy. He has no respect for others, for law enforcement, or for the law. If he is released early, he will continue to break the law." Martin is currently in the hospital due to injuries during the shooting. The Sacramento Police Department will book him when his condition improves. Allison Lee, NTD News.
State lawmakers are busy at work with the aftermath of the Sacramento shooting still visible around the state capitol grounds. Lawmakers deliberated and voted on a new gun control bill. NTD's Cynthia Kai has more on the discussions and results.
The Senate Judiciary Committee held the first hearing for Senate Bill 1327 on Tuesday afternoon. Senator Bob Hertzberg introduced the bill in February. The bill would allow private citizens to sue any person who manufactures, distributes, or transports illegal weapons in the state, such as ghost guns.
Now, the bottom line, and the question is, will it work? I don't know. But if it saves one ghost gun, if it saves one assault weapon that can be used in a crime, with the numbers that we've seen, it's an important new tool. It's an important incentive.
Hertzberg says the idea is modeled after a Texas law that takes the same approach to abortion.
If Texas can use this mechanism to take away a woman's rights to choose and endanger lives, California can use the same mechanism to do anything creative to ban deadly weapons of war and save lives.
However, if the Texas law is ever found unconstitutional, the ruling would also void Hertzberg's SB 1327.
This is sort of comes under the monkey see, monkey do rubric, and hopefully we won't be doing the monkey see, monkey do thing all the way till the end of this year's session.
Umberg supported the bill, but says he hopes the bill does not proceed further, citing potential rulings on the Texas abortion law. In the end, the committee passed the bill in an 8-1 vote, with Republican Senator Brian Jones voting no. The bill is now headed to the Senate Public Safety Committee. Lawmakers have a handful of other gun-related bills to consider this year. Some are AB 1594, a measure that would give California's Attorney General power to sue gun manufacturers, and AB 1621, which would further restrict the number of ghost guns in the state. Assemblymember Tom Lackey criticized the large number of gun control bills. Lackey told KRON 4, when you over-regulate the legal market, you turn people to the very market that's supplying most of these threatening weapons, which is the black market. Currently, California has the most gun laws of any state, 107, according to the State Firearm Laws Project at Boston University.
Recently released surveillance footage shows the moment an unknown suspect attacked a grandfather. Police released the video on Wednesday, and the family is offering a reward for finding the suspect. Just as a warning, the following video may be disturbing to some viewers.
In the video, Solomon Hernandez can be seen gardening in his front yard in Daly City on March 25th. A man comes up from behind and kicks him in the back, knocking him down. The suspect runs away into the neighborhood. Police describe him as an unknown race man, between 30 to 50 years old, approximately 5 feet 10 inches tall, and weighing approximately 220 pounds. Hernandez's family is now offering a $10,000 reward to find the person who attacked their 84-year-old grandfather. The family says the money is from their own pockets. This is the second time he has been attacked, his family said. The first was in 2020. That's when the family installed cameras around his house. Police encourage anyone with information to contact the Daly City Police Department at 650-991-8119 or Detective McCarthy at rmccarthy@dalycity.org. Cynthia Kai, NTD News, California.
A Monday report revealed that Black Lives Matter purchased a multi-million-dollar house in Southern California. The purchase had previously not been disclosed, but the organization said it is to be used as a creative space.
Black Lives Matter bought a $6 million home in Los Angeles using donated money, according to a recent report. New York Magazine reported on Monday that the three founders of BLM can be seen sitting at the home in a now-removed video from June 2021 commemorating the death of George Floyd. In the video, co-founder Patrisse Cullors said she was recovering from a New York Post exclusive report revealing her purchase of 4 homes for $3.2 million. New York Magazine cited real estate listings for the 6,500 square foot house. It has more than 6 bedrooms and bathrooms, along with fireplaces, a pool, and parking for over 20 cars. Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation purchased the house in October 2020 with funds that came in through donations. The purchase was not previously disclosed, and New York Magazine's reporter said BLM officials tried to stop the report from coming out. A foundation board member told the magazine that the house is intended to be a studio space for social media influencers.
Organizers for Los Angeles District Attorney recall campaign are feeling confident. The campaign has already raised millions and hit a milestone in signatures. The recall is over Gascon's soft-on-crime policies. NTD's Daniel Hall reports.
The campaign to recall Los Angeles District Attorney George Gascon has reached another milestone, 200,000 signatures. The campaign hit the number on March 31st, approaching the required number to trigger a recall election. The campaign must reach just over 565,000 signatures before the July deadline. Tim Lineberger, a spokesman for the campaign, told the Epoch Times in a statement that there is serious momentum behind the recall effort and we can absolutely pull this off. At the same time, the campaign has raised $4 million. Organizers additionally announced a Recall DA George Gascon app for all volunteer information, victims' stories, and media coverage. Lineberger said, Gascon is on a political island. No one wants to be caught openly supporting him or be associated with his pro-criminal agenda. Victims' right attorney and former deputy DA Kathy Caddy told the Epoch Times in a previous interview that the community recognizes the results of Gascon's policies. She said she has been representing close to 100 victims of murder crimes. Victims generally have felt abandoned and ignored by Gascon. Meanwhile, the recall effort is picking up steam with more than 33 cities in the county issuing votes of no confidence in Gascon. The campaign has also become a talking point in the widely contested mayoral race, as candidates have been asked whether they will support the recall. But Elise Moore, Gascon's campaign spokesperson, said, "This certainly looks like a last-ditch effort. It seems they may be slowing down and becoming desperate for signatures." Gascon has come under heavy scrutiny after being elected in 2020. He set out to reform the city's criminal justice system. His controversial policies mostly include reduced sentencing for people who, he says, come from long disadvantaged groups. Daniel Hall, NTD News, California.
More cities are looking for ways to install universal basic income. A Southern California city is planning to allow universal basic income to transgender and non-binary residents regardless of how much they earn. One former official called the policy discriminatory.
The Palm Springs City Council voted unanimously in March to approve the request of two local nonprofit organizations to help fund a guaranteed income pilot program. They approved a $200,000 funding to both DAP Health and QueerWorks to support the initial research and program design for universal basic income.
Known as a guaranteed income program, our program will provide monthly financial support to help supplement their income. It will be designed to help financially stabilize community members and learn information to help create future evidence-based policies and programs.
The organizations will prioritize support for local homeless individuals who are transgender and non-binary.
Violence plagues us. Last year, 80 trans and non-binary individuals were killed because of their status. And while a subsidy program doesn't stop the violence, it helps to be able to actually afford some of the medical treatment that we need to have when we're victims of those attacks.
Fox News reported that former San Diego City Councilman Carl DeMaio, an openly gay member of the city council, called the program outrageous and discriminatory. He said they are opposed to universal basic income programs because they ultimately cause inflation and raise the cost of living on everyone and won't work. The pilot program will last about 18 months.
We're going to take a short break, but here's a look at what we got for you when we come back. Nearly half of the students in one California school district are chronically absent from class. COVID protocols are to blame, among other reasons. According to analysis on standardized tests, students' math scores on standardized tests are below average. Some math scores are as far as 3 years behind where they're expected to be. And Disneyland characters can finally give those much treasured hugs once more. The park is slowly loosening COVID restrictions, and hugs, at least in some areas, are back on the menu. That and much more on California Today. Half of the students in the state's largest school district are chronically absent. Reasons include COVID protocols, lack of transportation, as well as family and health issues.
According to the Los Angeles Times, nearly half of Los Angeles Unified School District, or LAUSD students, have been chronically absent since September. That means about 200,000 students have missed almost 10% of school days this year. LAUSD Superintendent Alberto Carvalho expressed concern in a tweet saying, "If we do not address this, we will not be successful at anything else." This comes as the district struggles to recover from setbacks brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic. Even as schools returned to in-person learning this year and mask mandates were lifted last month. Although nearly 90% of students over 12 years old are vaccinated, those that aren't and who are exposed to the virus still need to be quarantined between 5 days and 10 days, depending on whether they want to take a COVID test or not. Other reasons for the absenteeism cited in the report were lack of transportation, poor physical or mental health, and family issues. By comparison, according to a January 2022 report by the California Department of Education, for the 2020 to 2021 school year, about 14% of students statewide were chronically absent.
California is already not well known for its public schools, but the pandemic has apparently made things even worse. According to analysis of states' standardized tests, math scores of average 8th graders were comparable to those of 5th graders.
California students are behind in basic knowledge and skills. According to an analysis by David Wakelin, a consultant at Union Square Learning, a nonprofit that works with school districts, student achievement declined in literacy during the pandemic and was worse in math. He wrote that for math scores, 8th grade students demonstrate knowledge and skills indicative of 5th grade standards. Wakelin pointed out that reading and writing scores were only slightly below grade level standards. California offers standardized testing known as Smarter Balanced Tests for students in grades 3 to 11. The state canceled the test in 2020 due to the COVID-19 or CCP virus pandemic. He said middle school students were already struggling prior to the pandemic. the state wasn't following the same classes of students as they moved through each grade. Instead, it compared one 8th grade class to the previous year's 8th grade class. Last year, Asian students' average scores were in the upper range of exceeding standards. Black and Latino 8th grade and low-income students averaged far below standard. State officials have cautioned against overanalyzing the 2021 test scores. Fewer than 1/4 of students took the test due to the pandemic. Wakelin offers the following solutions: having a guide that shows math teachers how to correct students' misunderstandings and adjust the daily teaching, as well as providing teachers with professional learning and coaching.
San Jose police took a high school student into custody after a stabbing incident in Silicon Valley. The suspect and victim are reportedly both students at Gunderson High School. The stabbing allegedly happened after a fight between students at the San Jose school on Monday. SJPD said the victim is a male juvenile and has a non-life-threatening stab wound. According to a Twitter post by SJPD, a campus officer was on scene and played an important role coordinating a response and suspect apprehension. SJPD hasn't confirmed whether the suspect is still in custody, but the school district told NTD that the school was not placed under lockdown thanks to quick action. They're working with the police to investigate the incident. A man who brazenly robbed a Walgreens in San Francisco, then rode out on his bike, was sentenced to prison. The incident made national headlines just last year as a video of the theft went viral online.
A man seen in a viral video robbing a San Francisco Walgreens with a trash bag was sentenced to 16 months in prison. Jean Lugo Romero was filmed stuffing items into a bag before riding out of the store on a bike while onlookers, including a security guard, watch. According to prosecutors, Romero pled guilty to felony grand theft and misdemeanor petty theft in court. Walgreens has closed 20 stores in San Francisco within the past 5 years, citing the issue of rising retail theft. One of them was the store that Romero robbed, which was closed last November 2021. Large drugstore chain CVS also closed 6 stores in the city in January. However, they attributed it to too many overlapping locations and didn't mention if theft was a reason. Jason Blair, NTD News, San Francisco.
Disney is bringing hugs back again. Fans going to the U.S. parks will be able to give hugs, sign autographs, and interact up close with their favorite characters in mid-April.
Mickey Mouse will soon be able to hug again. In a blog post last week, Disney said starting April 18th, personal interaction between visitors and costumed characters will be allowed again at Disneyland in California, Walt Disney World in Florida, and on Disney cruises. Very soon, you will once again be able to hug Mickey Mouse, get an autograph from Mulan, and share a laugh with Goofy. We know many of you have missed these special moments, and your Disney character friends have missed you too. For nearly 2 years, costume characters at U.S. Disney parks have kept their distance from visitors because of the pandemic. The parks closed temporarily in spring 2020. After the parks reopened that summer, costumed characters could only be seen waving from a distance in the parks or in parades. Last fall, the parks allowed the characters to meet up individually with visitors, but they were only allowed to greet visitors and have their photos taken from a distance. According to the company, not all traditional locations for character greetings will be open right away. They will be reopened in phases.
Since the beginning of March, we've been following the growth of a bald eagle chick. A recent naming contest for the chick has come to a close, and the results are in.
Meet Spirit, the bald eagle chick. Friends of Big Bear Valley operates a live stream on the nest and held the naming contest. The contest received over 2,600 entries and nearly 1,000 ideas for names. In the end, Spirit, submitted by Patty G, won the vote. The second place name was Lil Dipper, and third place was Hunter. The organization says Spirit will become more mobile and interested in its surroundings over the next few weeks. It will walk on toes with more confidence, perch on sticks in the nest, and grasp nesting materials with talons. Its calls for food from its parents, Jackie and Shadow, will become louder and more persistent. Friends of Big Bear Valley's website also has live stream footage of the Eagles for those who can't get enough.
Now to NTD's Thomas Christian for an update on sports.
As always, I'm Thomas Christian, taking you to the California Today Sports Roundup. Spring training ended yesterday, so we're giving you the coverage you need to stay informed at the ballparks this MLB season. The Chicago White Sox added another rotation option Monday night, agreeing to a minor league deal with veteran right-hander Johnny Cueto. According to multiple media reports, Cueto reportedly would make a prorated portion of a $4.2 million salary for any time he spends in the major leagues. MLB added that the deal gives Cueto an opt-out option as of May 15th. The White Sox were short a starter with right-hander Lance Lynn expected to go right knee surgery on Tuesday, a procedure that likely will sideline him for at least a month. Cueto tweeted Monday night, "Much love to the fans of the San Francisco Giants. You guys are the best and I will miss you. To the amazing staff in SF, thanks for everything. Let's get to work, Chicago." Cueto, who is 36 years old, is a two-time All-Star who is entering his 15th Major League season. He broke in with the Reds in 2008 and remained in Cincinnati until he was traded to the Kansas City Royals in July 2015. Cueto went 2-1 with a 5.4 ERA and 4 postseason starts with the Royals that year, helping them win the World Series. He then signed as a free agent with the Giants and pitched in San Francisco the past 6 years. Last season, Cueto went 7-7 with a 4.08 ERA in 22 games, 21 starts. In 330 career games, Cueto has a 135-97 record with a 3.45 ERA. Shohei Ohtani makes his first career opening day start for the Los Angeles Angels on Thursday, as the two-way star looks to continue the awe-inspiring play that made him baseball's most talked-about player last season. The Oshu, Japan native last year, drew comparisons to Babe Ruth for his immense Showtime talent both as a hitter and a pitcher, and went on to be named the unanimous winner of the 2021 AL MVP award. He went 9-2 on the mound, hit 46 home runs, and graced the cover of Sony's MLB The Show 22 video game. On Thursday, he struck out 4 and his cutter reached 99 miles per hour as he geared up to face AL West rivals the Houston Astros on opening day in Anaheim. On Sunday, he hit his 3rd home run of spring training, sending the unmistakable message that he is looking to do damage at the plate this year as well. He is also rewriting history books since Ohtani made his own mark on the rule books. The MLB has announced a rule change to reflect his unique talents, dubbed the Shohei Ohtani rule. On days when he is pitching, he will be listed as the designated hitter, meaning he can stay in the game to bat even after he is done on the mound. Now the Angels and their long-suffering fans hope Ohtani's heroics will end their postseason drought. The Angels have not made the playoffs since 2014, but were without 9-time All-Star Mike Trout for much of last season with a torn calf muscle. But Trout is back now, and manager Joe Maddon has suggested he will bat second behind leadoff hitter Ohtani. That 1-2 punch at the top of the order is enough to keep opposing pitchers up at night. Anthony Rendon and Jared Walsh are expected to hit 3rd and 4th. As always, I'm Thomas Christian, and thanks for tuning in.
And that's all for tonight. You can join us again on California Today every weekday at 8:30 p.m. If you have any news tips or ideas for our show, or you just want to let us know how we're doing, our email is california.today@ntd.com. I'm Liang Zhang. We'll see you next time.